Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yashabakta, Yahweh Shema Alta Bashim Yashah. Over to the Queens, New York class from headquarters. Captain Shema Allah. We gonna go into some quick questions today on a warning. Like if we don't start keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, we in trouble because the time's coming near. The end is coming near. That's why we got to get ourselves together. Or when Christ come back, we're gonna be getting put to death. You know, I know nobody wants that. I'll go to the first one. Is keep is Psalms 119 verse 142.
Psalms chapter 119 verse 42. So shall I have wherewith to answer him.
119.
119.
Verse
119, right?
Verse 142.
142. Salakia. Psalms 119 verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth.
What is the truth? The law, statutes, and commandments. That's our heritage. That's our custom to not eat pork, not eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, not to celebrate Christmas. Keep the Sabbath day, keep the Passover. That truth is everlasting, man. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be doing the things that these heathens that our oppressor does. Or that the Chinese or Japanese. I know they're all rich and powerful, and you may be looking at them and think, well, they got all the money, they got all the power. Let me be like them. You know, being like them gonna get you destroyed. Whenever we try to be like them, whenever we try to join them, we always end up being destroyed. The truth is our heritage, that we got to keep to our heritage, to our customs of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go to John 14:6 in the New Testament. Now, how do you keep the truth? You got to do what Christ said. Be ye therefore perfect as my Father in heaven is perfect. Yes, you can be perfect. You can be perfect. It's not impossible to keep all of these laws. That's what the Christian church wants you to believe, to give you an excuse to keep sinning and make you think it's all right. As long as you fill that collection plate with some money, you can buy your way into heaven.
Right.
And that's not going to happen. If you ain't keeping these laws, if you found the spot and blemish in that day, you're going to get put to death. Or you might be put to death soon. Look what's happening to our people today. You know what I mean? We always getting put to death. We are supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth and everything like that. We still getting put to death. You know what I mean? That don't mean Juneteenth don't mean anything. We still in slavery. We still slaves. Then they give us our own land like how they did the fake Jew.
This is Pride Month in June. So we got our people dying slowly from AIDS and HIV, and they still seem to be prideful.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? What about that? What about those things, man? You know what I mean? Go to John 14 and say, we got to do what Christ said. We don't.
John chapter 14 verse 6. Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
You ain't getting to the Most High but through Christ. What did Christ say in Matthew 5:17? Think not that I come to destroy the law. So if you're not keeping laws, you're not following Christ. That's point blank. So that in the New Testament, Christ said it himself. He's the way to the Most High. He's that straight and narrow path you got to get on. And the Christian church is failing at the job, man. They're gonna get you killed out here. Go to Deuteronomy 28:1. Let's hear what God had to say to us back goes all the way back. It's a common theme throughout the Bible. When we do well, when we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, we prosper. As soon as we start sinning, in 2020, we are sinners, man. We sinners up in this place. You know, that's how we keep getting destroyed. That's how our neighborhoods getting gentrified. We lost Harlem. Harlem is lost. I mean, I seen in I'm from Queens. I'm seeing East Indians and Chinese people walking around in my neighborhood. What's going on with that? You know what I mean? That ain't supposed to be like that. They're gonna take over our neighborhoods in a second too, but we're gonna move to them. You know what I mean? The suburbs, right?
Maybe if they let
us in. Them Edomites out there, they said, we don't want these niggas out here. Because remember, they used to live in our hood. Right. When we came into those neighborhoods, they went further and further out. You know what I mean? So they ain't want us out there either. Yep. You know what I mean? So what we gonna do? Go to Deuteronomy. You want to read what you got?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
I said we be above all nations. We be above our oppressor. We will be above the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arab. They wouldn't be allowed to come into our neighborhood except to pay us tribute if we did what we were supposed to do. But because we don't do it, we verse 15.
Concert. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All these curses shall come upon with the death, being in the prison system, the abortions, the drug addiction, the crime. You know, our neighbors that we live in, rats and roaches and all over the place. You know what I'm saying? We have no certainty of life. I mean, food, so we have no food security. We don't know where our next meal is coming from. We don't know how we're gonna pay our bills. We wake up worrying about our bills, and we go to sleep worrying about our bills. And what kind of life is that? The scriptures say that too. When you get up, when you get up in the morning, you're gonna be wondering when I get to go to sleep. When you go to sleep, you're gonna be wondering when I get to wake up. It's a 24-hour cycle. This death and oppression that we, because we sin against the Most High. Be verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field, man. Don't think you be cursed in the heart, be cursed in the project, living in the project. That's a curse, man. And be cursed in the field too. Don't think because you're rich means you're not cursed. Look at Whitney Houston, she died a junkie. Michael Jackson died a junkie. Prince died a junkie. DMX died a junkie.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of our athletes and entertainers, I mean, look at Lamar so messing with them white women. Next, look at him now, he overdosed in a whorehouse.
Right.
Tiger Woods messed up now. He's hard up. Why? And then all these people got money. A lot of people think, yeah, but if I had money, if I just had, I can just hit the lotto. I mean, my life perfect now. I mean, look at all people who actually have it. Look how their life is, man. Because if you're not keeping the law, statutes, commandments, God's not going to be with you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Drop down verse 37.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
I said, become astonished, a proverb and a byword, man. We call everything else, everything under the sun except for Israel, man. Black, Negro, colored, African American, you know what I mean? That's what we are called. You know, we call these different things, and that's not we the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, all the way down to I.S.U.P.K. Those are our names. Yasha in the Hebrew. That's our identity. But because we sin against the Lord, we lost that. We don't know who we are. Now, you know, if you look at some of our online videos, you see people saying Jesus wasn't no nigga. You know what I mean? They can't believe Jesus Christ was black. That's how long it's been since we had the truth. And it's because we sin against the Lord. So God Most High is doing that to us. But thanks to the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA, our people are coming back. And when you look at the Passover we just had, it was glorious, man.
Right.
But all the people, it was glorious, man. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's going. Go ahead.
And like it's this wherever the UPK is the safest place on earth.
Exactly.
Because you're not worried about kids being kidnapped, touched, molested.
That's right.
Everyone's watching your kids. You know.
That's right. And there's a reason. Go to This is how the heathen was allowed to come up against. Go to Psalms 83:1. Whole Deuteronomy, go to Psalms verses.
Psalms chapter 83 verse 1. A song or songs of I.S.U.P.K. Keep not thou silence, O God.
It's a prayer from David to the Most High. Read on.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And I have lifted. Read on.
Concert. And consulted against thy hidden ones. Sorry. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
You see that the nations got together, they conspired against me. What do you think is on the United Nations? All the nations coming together, they conspired against. And the Lord is allowing this because we with Nebuchadnezzar. You know what I mean? And I think it's in the book of Daniel that says that He's with Nebuchadnezzar. Why? Because we were sinners. So he let our nation, the other nations come up on top of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're gonna remain destroyed if we don't get ourselves right. We gotta stop eating that pork, man. We shouldn't have celebrated Juneteenth yesterday. We shouldn't have did it. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have celebrated Juneteenth. We shouldn't do it next year. What's coming up next? What's the next one? Memorial Day?
July.
4th of July. Don't do that. Don't do Labor Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween. Don't do any of that garbage, man.
Right.
And we keep doing, we're gonna remain destroyed. We never get out of this hell. Go back to Deuteronomy, go to verse 48.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
I said in want of all things, man. We gotta go in this, just like we were using slavery. Just like when we had chains on us, man, we had to go to white man for earth. We picked that cotton, that sugar cane, that gave us our food, our clothing that we had on our back, and whatever crappy housing they gave us. What do we do today? We go to work, we get underpaid, last hire, first fire, and all that. But we go home to the projects, to the hood, you know what I mean? With crappy housing, uncertainty, gang violence, bullets flying, drugs on the corner, prostitution, all that. It's the same thing. And we gotta go to the heat. We gotta go to the Korean supermarket to buy chicken and all that. We gotta go to dry cleaners and laundromats. All these owned by heathens, man. You know what I mean? See, I can find something I could. Find later. Let's bear with me. Oh man, I can't find it. Okay. Ooh. No, that's it. Go to verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
That's right. That happened, man. We came over in a cargo slave ship. Like we was battling that net out in Queens yesterday. Talking about the Hispanic tribes and going to slavery. They're not Israel. They was on them slave ships first.
Right.
Read a book called Black Indians, man. This is what we destroyed, man. Read the rest of that verse.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
He said bondmen and bondwomen are slaves, man. And no man should buy me, no man shall redeem. The only man who's going to redeem us is Christ. But like how we read earlier, Christ said, think not that I come to destroy the law.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to keep these laws, statutes, commandments. And if you read further in verse 5 in the book of Matthew, you break any one of these least commandments, you're not making it into the kingdom. You might get put this up, getting the edge up. That's the least commandment. A lot of people think, what's the big deal about that? So, I mean, like, God don't care about your head. Yes, he does care about your head, because that's idol worship. Because that's what Africans were doing. To make themselves clean for their pagan god, they would shave their head bald, or, you know, edge it up, make it all neat and clean and nice and all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that makes them more acceptable to their pagan god. That's why you can't get an edge up. That's the science behind the lineup.
Right. Come on.
You know what I mean? I mean, you think it sounds simple, but that's the science of it. Yeah, go ahead.
And coming to the truth too, it also it looks effeminate now to see a man all
yes, it does.
lined up, extra groomed.
It does. It looks
like eyebrows.
Yeah, it looks effeminate. You look like a woman, man. That's what a woman would do. Something neat and clean like that. That's woman talk.
Right.
You know, Africans are homosexuals anyway, so
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
A tattoo.
Right.
So.
Right.
A lot of people like that. This is my body. I can do what I want. It was not your body. Your body belongs to the Lord, man.
That's right.
And you can't do it whatever you feel like doing to it.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Go to Jeremiah 17:9.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Your heart talking about your mind is desperately above all, and who can know it, man? So whenever you get an idea in your head, something, you're supposed to seek out the man of the Lord, man, and see if you're doing right according to the Bible, because your brain come with all kind of stuff to justify what you're doing. You know what I mean? It come with all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, some people, the way you reason with yourself, man, is just to be wicked, man. Right. It's a battle in your spirit, the flesh and the spirit. And your flesh is very strong. You know what I mean? That line up, that edge up and all that things, the little simple things like that, you may start thinking you're really doing it for a woman or a job or something like that. You start reasoning with yourself. You know, next thing you know, the God let you be destroyed because of it, over something like that. You know what I mean? Go to Proverbs 14 and 12.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
It seems right to be a Christian, don't it? Everybody's doing it, right? Everybody's a Christian. Everybody's a Muslim. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to look how rich all the athletes and entertainers, but they what? Christians, right? You know what I'm saying? They Christians too, right? So it seems that, but the end thereof are the ways of death, man. What did Christ say? Wide is the gate, and broad is the way to destruction, man. You know what I mean? So that Christianity, that's a wide gate, man. And you know, until you get destroyed, until you got a knee on your neck. I'm sorry what happened to George Floyd. It was a shame, but he was a Christian. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Rodney King, Sandra Bland. I mean, they Christians. Yeah, Breonna Taylor. They Christians, right? Yeah, why you see that happening to us? You know what I mean? Right. I mean, we're not rich like Christians. No, we don't got no big mega church, but at the same time, we not dying like they dying. You know what I mean? Our life ain't among the unclean like them. Right. You know what I mean? Because God is with us. The scripture say this in Psalm 34 and 7. He that feareth the Lord shall have an angel encamped about him, something like that. You have angels protecting us, man. Right. We have a hedge. You know what I mean? And you want that hedge around you, you gotta get yourself right. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna die in this place. As simple as that. Go to 16 and 2 in the same book, Proverbs.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirit.
Your own eyes, man. Christianity, you clean your own eyes, man. You lying to yourself, really. If you lie to yourself long, you start believing the truth, just like any affirmation. It's like a positive affirmation. What is Solomon saying? Proverbs 23 and 7. Oh man, let me read it. Wait. As a man thinketh, so is he. That's what he said. Right. As a man, the way the man, Proverbs 20, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's what Solomon said in the book of Proverbs, man. You keep saying it to yourself, saying it to yourself. After a while, you start to believe it, man. You know what I mean? You start thinking Christianity is the way, Muslim, Allah is the way, buying out some rock is the way, wearing some cross around your neck is the way, until you get shot up. Right. Until you overdose. Until you get put in jail. You know what I mean? Then you gonna say, man, I should listen to the crazy brothers on the corner, man. They was right. They ain't going to jail. And they ain't getting shot. You know, look how they dressing on them, but they not dying. Why is that? You know what I mean? Don't be like that, man. Don't be like that. Take the warning. Take the warning and do what's right. Like how God, the Most High said, I sent you for a life, and I sent you for a person to choose life that you may live. You know what I mean? Don't wonder what's going to happen if you break God's order. God said, don't do it, just don't do it. Simple as that. Go to Psalm 19 and 17.
19, right?
Huh? 19 verse 17.
Psalms chapter 19 verse 17. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting that here.
Not lost. So it only goes to 14.
Hold on. It only goes to verse 14? Psalms?
Psalms 19, chapter 19.
19 and 7, Salakia. I had it wrong.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
That's like we too stupid to know how to live, man. You're not smarter than God. You know what I mean? You can't outsmart him. You can't, you know what I mean? And the way the Lord is making wise the simple, man. We simple people of Israel. That's why he calls sheep. But we follow any old thing. So if you're gonna be a sheep, follow what's right. The Most High. Right. and follow Yahweh Christ, Jesus Christ. Follow him. Do what he says to do. And always remember, don't try to go around what you see in the Bible, what you already know. Christ is the Lord is done away with. So when you read the books of Paul and things like that, wait a minute, Paul says this, but Christ is the Lord is not done away, so that must be something else. You know what I mean? A lot of people read Paul, see, it's after Christ died. You know what I mean? It's after Christ died, so now we ain't got to keep the law. No, it ain't what Paul was trying to say. You know what I mean? Paul was advocate for the law. He wanted you to keep the law. He just breaking down. That's why in the book of Peter it says, you know what I'm saying, people who are unlearned shouldn't read Paul because he'd be hard to understand. You know what I mean? So you should come to the men of law for your understanding. Just notice the laws are not done away with. And just look at your life and see, and look at your life, look at your children, look at your wife, your kids, your father, your mother. Look how they all destroyed. You know what I mean? All these athletes and celebrities that people look up to, look how they destroyed. You know what I mean? All of them Christians. All of them eat pork. And celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving. Look how they destroyed. You know what I mean? Look at us. We not destroyed. I mean, don't judge a book by its covering, but it's looking all rugged, looking like warriors and all that, looking like ninjas, things like that too. We not dying in the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? We not dying. The Lord is with us. You know what I'm saying? We crushed everybody in every battle. You know what I mean? So give us a shot. Go to Romans 15:4.
Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
What was Paul referring to? The Old Testament? The New Testament wasn't written yet. It was still going on at that time. So that was written aforetime, written for our learning. The laws of Moses. You know what I mean? The first 5 books. That was written aforetime. All the prophecies, that was written for our learning. You know what I mean? So go to Deuteronomy. I'm sorry.
Will we finish that?
No, don't finish. Go to Psalms 119 and 97.
Say again, sir?
119 verse 97 in Psalms.
$97.
Yeah.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 97. Mem, oh how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day.
Oh, how I love thy law is my meditation. What does it mean to meditate on something?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to say to ponder on.
Yeah, that's it. You got it right. To ponder on something. That's the meditation. So in all your walks of life, man, just look at, and brothers and sisters out there, just look at what you're doing. And actually, this is the law. What does the law say about this? You know what I'm saying? You always want to consult the law. You always want to make sure you're being lawful, not doing anything wrong. Then you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right.
Then you worry about God trying to kill you or something like that. Something bad happens to you because you're keeping the law. Ezekiel 33:15.
$33.
33 verse 15.
Ezekiel 15. If the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life, without committing iniquity, he shall surely live.
Page, man. This wicked here is not talking about the other nations. They fate is sealed. They going, you know what I mean? The white man gonna be destroyed. He going into slavery. You know what I mean? All the other nations they going to say they're gonna pay us tribute, bring all these riches and gold and all that to us. That's how it's gonna be. But the wicked here, some of the wicked of Israel, we restore the pledge and give back and walk in the statutes of life without committing iniquity. We do that, we won't die. You won't die thermonuclear warfare. You won't die of AIDS and cancer and diabetes and things like that. You won't die. You live to be a ripe old age. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. Just like all these heathens, they live to be, you know, all these old age. You know, look how healthy they look. Man, they look so good. And like that. That'll be us. You know what I mean? But as long as we want to stay wicked, we're going to keep dying.
Gotcha. You got another one, sir?
I'm gonna end it right there. Anybody got any questions? Any questions online, Sean?
Not that I saw. I'm double checking. No, sir.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
it's like they want us to flash the scripture on the screen. No, sir, no problem.
Oh, you put the attendance thing on there too?
I'm doing it right.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna end it with that. Pay your tithes, support this truth. You know what I mean? Support this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't gonna buy Bentleys and all that with the money, things like that. We ain't gonna do none of that garbage. I know today's Father's Day, but don't celebrate it. Don't say Happy Father's Day to your father. That's the idol worship right there. I mean, that's really about the worship of Zeus or Jupiter. You know, and Roman culture is Jupiter, and Greek culture is Zeus. You know what I'm saying? The sky god, things like that. You can research that online. You know what I mean? It's all rooted in pagan. That's why we don't do it. That's why we don't do things like that. We don't do anything that's rooted in paganism. You know what I mean? Try to twist it and make it sound nice and sweet. You know, what's your father? And all that. I heard some music, honor your mother and father. That's not what it means. That's not what it's talking about. You know what I mean? Honor your mother and father, honor them every day. Take care of them in their old age. Like how they took care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself. Take care of them. You know, just because you're in the truth, you're gonna run errands for your parents. Like, I know I do it for mine. They help. I mean, they help, but they used to be. You know, they can't be walking around too much. They can't lift stuff up like how they used to. So I'm doing it. You know what I mean? They're not in the truth, but you know, I have a car. I run errands for them. I carry things for them. I pick stuff up for them. Things like that. That's honoring your mother and father. Because one time I couldn't pick stuff up. One time I couldn't do things for myself, and they did it for me. You know, out of love, so I do it for them out of love for them. That's honoring your mother and father. Don't worship Mother's Day, Father's Day. It's all paganism. Don't do it. Pay your tithes, support this truth. Shalom.